Hello Internet, I'm David and this is the Pursuit Blog, and this is my response to my own video called Dear Christian, in which I ask Christians to weigh in on a particular set of verses, and to give me their interpretation of what that meant for their own life and how that impacts the way that they live. And the verses were Matthew 5:13 through 16. You can go check out that video and then come back to this one. And I was very impressed with the video responses that I got to that video. I asked for video responses and I got quite a few, and I was very impressed with the thoughts that were in those, but I was very underwhelmed by the overall response from Christians. You see, I did a video entitled Dear Atheist just a couple weeks ago, and I had over 2,000 atheists watch and weigh in on their question, but only a fraction of Christians watched this video, their video, and I kind of wonder why it is. Are they reluctant to watch something entitled Dear Christians? I'm not sure. That's a topic for another video. But here's my interpretation of the verse. In verse 13, Jesus compares his followers to being salt. Back in ancient days, you have to understand that salt was a commodity. It was used as payment to Roman soldiers because of how valuable it was. But it was valuable because it was necessary. It was necessary because back then they didn't have refrigeration. To keep meat, to keep food from going bad, you would put salt on it. Every household had to have salt to preserve their food in order for them to be able to eat. And Jesus is saying, you are preserving this world. You're not only what gives it flavor, but you are keeping this world afloat. You're keeping it alive. Jesus is saying you are a life-giving force in this world. But if you stop being salty, if you stop following me and living out all these things, then your faith is for nothing. And you cease to be what it is you are meant to be as a Christian. In verse 14 through 16, Jesus goes in and talks about how we are light to the world. And by saying that you are the light of the world, Jesus is implying that there is darkness in the world. And that as that light, we are to shed light into the darkness. A city set upon a hill, it's put on a hill for all to see. Everywhere in the valley, they can see that light. Out in the darkness, they can see that light if you are shining. What Jesus is saying is through your words, through your actions, the way you live, the way you carry yourself, the way you interact with people, you are shining your light for Christ. That they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. In my Dear Atheist video, I asked if Christian actions was one of the reasons that people became atheists, and overwhelmingly they said no. But they all said it was because of the way they read the Bible, and I honestly think a lot of that comes from bad interpretation of the Bible. And that comes from having Christians not being able to explain their own faith well. How can we be light to the world if we don't even know what we believe? If we can't give testimony to what we believe? But we cannot have this light that is within us and keep it to ourselves. Jesus says you can't take a light, nobody takes a light and puts it under a basket. No, you have light to illuminate for yourself and for everyone else. There's too many closet Christians out there who love Jesus but don't love the world enough to share him with them. They try to keep their light to themselves. But that is not, by definition, what Jesus calls a Christ follower. So I challenge you in this today to not only be that life-preserving force in the world, to act and say and love people genuinely, but to share him with them. And part of my question, my dear Christian video, was how does this play out in a digital age? This time when all of our friends are on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. I think if you cannot be a Christian online these days, then that is very sad. How can you not be a Christian online if you're a Christian offline? And I want to use that to encourage some of you Christians out there who have thoughts, who know your Bible, who love people, who love Jesus, to start talking about him. And that could just be through Facebook or just through comments, but I really would encourage you to start a video channel. I'll even help you with that. But let me know what you think on my interpretation of the verse. Make sure if you would like to go back and record your interpretation, go back and leave it on this video or the previous one. I'll open up the video responses down below. But I hope you have a great day. I hope it was a bit challenging. If it's all fluff, then all you ever get is fluff. Make sure to start following me on Twitter. I'm starting to ramp up my Twitter if you'd like some interesting tweets. And I hope you have a great day. God bless.